Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason. As always, my co-host, the voice of MMA in Utah, Mr. Zack Partridge.
What up, dog?
What up? How you doing?
I'm good.
Back again. Another Fighter Spotlight podcast.
One of our favorites.
Friend, one of our favorites, Mr. Carson Hardman. Welcome back to the podcast. Love having you on. You're probably still one of the most downloaded podcasts we've had. Maybe Steven Dunkel podcast might have passed it.
That's number one now.
I was gonna say, did Dunkel get his face smashed?
Pretty much.
Dude's a
yeah.
Dunkel, I don't know if you really are in real life, but dude, your persona as a fighter's genius.
I think that's him.
I will say,
genuinely think that's him.
I will say, I did not expect the podcast to go that way when we initially got on with him, because I had talked to him on the phone. We messaged back and forth. He was totally respectful, totally, I respect Steve, and I really want to come down there, and he's confident, but I didn't sense anything that was going to come on the podcast. So it
was so good.
There might have been a little showmanship there, but
he's good, man. He's good.
Yeah,
he's got everyone buying into who he is, so that's all that matters. He's a genius.
Did I just hear you ask to fight William Dunkel? Is that what I heard?
Not really. He ain't worth a pinch of shit of my time. I'm just saying credit to where it's due, dude. I mean, smart. Who wouldn't want to smash that dude's face in? Thing that I've done, right? Like, who doesn't want to smash my face in Utah right now?
But so here's the thing, but very similar though, right? So like I still get it. People are like, they're like, if I hear anybody say anything about you ever, I'm like, you should probably get to know him. Like he's a pretty good dude. Like I got to know him a little bit. Like he's a pretty good dude, man.
Well, hey, I'll tell you this, Carson. This is just obviously it's live because everybody's gonna know it, but I talk about it. So my wife went to your fight with Nate Kersley. I had that night. I had a daddy-daughter dance with my daughter, and after everything at the fight, there's a lot of drama on there. She's like, I don't like that Carson Hardman guy. He's disrespectful. She's like, blah blah blah. Well, shortly after that, we had you on the podcast, and after she listened to it live, and she's like, I really like him. She's like, after listening to him, she's like, she changed her whole. I mean, people see you in one way in the cage, but then when they talk to you, it's in my opinion, it's just
the fighting world too. I feel like a lot of those guys, and no disrespect to them, but don't knock it till you're first in that position. You can't cast that first stone till you've been there. That's just simple as it is.
Since I keep going to Facebook jail for being mean to people, for just saying things the way it is, since I keep getting on Facebook jail. Now, when I hear people I see people badmouth. I saw somebody badmouth Derek Lewis after he just lost to Gain in that interim heavyweight title fight, and they're like, "Man, could you imagine talking or just talking smack on him and then losing in front of his home crowd like that? Like, what a piece of crap." And I was just like, maybe you should make that walk before you have anything to say about that. Like, just one time. I'm like, your greatest accomplishment was probably like in the park home run and T-ball. Like, come on.
Everyone, have you guys watched Free Solo, where he climbs?
Yeah.
Alex, what's his last name?
I know what you're talking about. I listened to his podcast. Yeah.
He has a great quote in there, and he says, anyone can be comfortable. He says, life's about events. That's his philosophy, and I think mine's
That's good.
It's not about, he's like, anyone can have a happy relationship. And don't get me wrong, like, I love my wife, I love my kid. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's part of being average. And if that's what you want, fine and dandy. But yeah, don't bag on someone when it's like that intense, when it's a moment like Derek Lewis face. Derek Lewis is the number one contender, and he might forever stay that. But guess what? There's only one number one contender in the world. Like Derek Lewis is the shit, even though he's not champion. Dude, he's done way more than you could ever dream of. Your little puny mind could ever even think about.
Well, I remember somebody was talking about like, they called somebody a gatekeeper, and somebody's like, man, don't call me a gatekeeper. Like, that's disrespectful. Like, I'm going to be a champion one day and this and that. And the guy's like, I don't call you a gatekeeper to the division to be disrespectful. Like, you got to understand, like, you have to be elite at what you do to be a gatekeeper. Like, whether you're ever champion or not, like, gatekeeper is not a dig at somebody. That means you're the standard that somebody has to get up to even think about being a champion.
Well, and that's his choice to take it that way too. So hopefully, maybe to him that is insulting. So maybe he should.
I can't remember who said it, but it wasn't Lewis. This was a while ago. It's a different division, but
they should get their act together and get better, and hopefully that's the motivation to do it. Right? That's all what life is just a bunch of choices.
Yeah, and we were just talking about before we went on air. Kelvin Gastelum fighting this weekend, and Jason and I both share the opinion of he should be a 170er. I think he's a giant problem at 170. I think he's a big problem for Usman at 170. I think he could give Usman like a tough fight at 170 with his boxing and his wrestling and stuff. I'm not sure he wins, but I think he gives him a really tough fight. But he has the weight to lose. And then you said people have recommended to you to drop to 155 before. And then there's another pro around that we've had the conversation. Me and him have had that conversation. He's a 185er and he makes 185 easy. And they're like, man, you should drop to 170. And you and him are both kind of in that boat of like, I feel great at closer to my walking around weight. Why would I go through a drastic weight cut?
That's exactly where I stand. I mean, that, and I'm ready to fight. Like this fight that I'm taking right now, I wouldn't say it was like short notice, but it was 4 weeks notice. So it's not, it wasn't for not that I have camps, but most people call full camp, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like I was given full notice, and that's the blessing of walking around at my weight. Like I hire a nutritionist to make sure that I'm never above like 176 max. That's like binging on the weekends, right? Doing all the cake I want, so to speak. So I just, at my level, maybe when I got to UFC and like established, not just there, but like really set in stone, then I could maybe think about doing other things. But like right now in the game, dude, you got to be ready. Like you just do. That's how Conor made it to the top. Conor McGregor made it to the top because he just took a lot of he's like, dude, I'll fill in. And a lot of people did vice versa. Clay did that with Max Holloway. I wish Clay got recognition for that, because who the hell would go against Holloway at that point in time? Not a lot of people would be like, oh, I'm ready to go. Not very many people. So that's why I do it. That's one of the reasons why I do it. I also just don't think my body type could, I don't know. I just see my jaw being weak at 155. I've seen myself go down to 160 and I look like a skeleton, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I've stood next to you before. You're a 170er in my opinion. Like you're not, I think you're spot on. I think you at 155, I'd be
tiny, dude.
Too weak. Yeah.
Life's pants, bro. How messed up is that? Like, what a joke.
For the record, everybody
are they listening? Leggings or jeans?
Jeans, dude. I can fit skinny jeans. Like I looked at them one day and I was like, no shit. I'm looking at them, holding them up, and I'm like, fuck, I bet I could fit in those. And then my dumb ass thinking, I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, no, there's not. And I was like, well, I'll never know until I try it. And so, of course, my dumbass self goes for it and tries it. Oh, shit, Sherlock. Lord, it's sad, dude. I mean, goodness sake. I already feel inferior here.
So, for everybody listening, Carson will be back in the cage next Saturday night on the Fierce Fighting Championship card, fighting in the main event against Steven Siler. So, I don't think I announced that before we got on. So just so everybody knows, you will be back in the cage next Saturday. Yeah,
I'm ready for it too. I'm stoked. I realize that Siler's doing me the favor. Not like I'm gonna pull back or say this or that about him, but I appreciate him taking the fight. That's awesome. I'm glad that he's a 145er stepping up to 170, so he's got some cojones. And I've seen his fight film too. Like he does. He's a warrior. I think this is going to be an awesome fight, and it's just going to be a bloody battle. That's what I hope it to be. I hope I just go in there and deconstruct him one hit at a time, and before he knows it, he's out. And if not, then I'm going to submit him. It's going to be one of those two things. Always looking for the finish.
It is really interesting that I would say both of you are known. One of the things that both of you are known for is being durable.
Oh, yeah. I would definitely give that to him too. God, I've seen him get hit hard, and that dude just like doesn't stop.
He's no.
He's like me. He probably has no brain in his head to rattle.
I remember because I was on the mic for his first retirement fight with Bobby King, and he was like eating shots from Bobby, and Bobby hit him like clean on the chin with one, and he like waved him on, and I was like, oh my God, like stop, like don't wave him on, he's hitting you hard, bro. Like
circle, dude.
And Bobby eventually submitted him, but he didn't knock him out.
We feed off that though. That's what we want. That's what we love, and that's what we're warriors at heart. That's what we came to do. And it sucks when you get stuck with someone who wants to play the point game or wants to sit back a little. That's stupid.
Crotch sniffers.
Yeah.
So
Uncle line.
with this fight, so Steve trains over at the Pit, who you actually fought one of his teammates. What is it? 3 years ago now, when you fought Nathan Kersley. Do you think there's going to be? Is there any bad blood with that because of the after of the Nate Kersley fight? Do you think there's any tension still there, or do you think it's all kind of blown over from that?
Oh, I wouldn't put words in Siler's mouth, but I wouldn't be surprised if I was him. Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to smash that dude's face for what he did to Nate. Like, why not? You know, Nate seems pretty chill about it, but like, again, this is my perception, right? Like, if I were to put myself in Siler's shoes, I would still I'd be like, that kid had no right to do what he did. But which is weird though, 'cause you fight, and it's like, well, if you're victorious, like you get to do whatever you want.
Except jump on the cage.
Except don't jump on the cage.
Or throw your mouth guard.
Oh, you get in trouble for that too? Do you get in trouble for that too?
We asked not to throw our mouth guard. But congratulations, Carson. A huge congratulations. I saw that you got with a big boy mouth guard company, and you're not doing a 99-cent mouth guard from Walmart anymore. I'm very proud of you.
I told my manager that, and he looked at me. Lance looked at me, and he about threw up. He's an idiot. Like, we're here in Georgia, and you're telling me you have a $1 Wilson from Walmart? And I'm like, yeah, dude.
That's how I roll.
Hey, you know,
really look. And I was like, okay.
When I found that out, I was like, man, dude, you know, they're really custom mouth guards for like $50-$60.
Yeah.
They fit in your mouth perfect.
Yep, they do. They're great.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Nothing wrong
How
with
many
that.
fights? Will this be your first fight with a custom mouth guard?
Yeah. I've never fought with anything but that $1 clear
Your
will.
chin's gonna hold up even better now, dude. You have a better mouth guard to bite down on.
Yeah.
Is it the same one, or do you get a new one every time?
No, I got a new one.
Okay.
Replace them about every 3 months, dude.
They're only 98 cents at Walmart. You can afford it.
It's like, yeah, why not? And honestly, I probably should replace them every month because they're only $1. But I ain't got time to run to Walmart. Well, I want to.
Well, now you have a nice molded one that'll last you a minute. You know, last you a few fight camps.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it though. I'm stoked about Siler and going through the motions as far as, you know, just keeping my weight where it needs to be. Nutrition wise, I'm on par. I just training, keeping the cardio up, and hopefully arrive on fight day healthy as a horse and ready to rock and roll.
How was that experience fighting out in Georgia? Like what, XFC, is that correct?
Yeah, so XFC is awesome. I think they're great as far as like the way they treat their fighters and stuff. I thought that was really nice of them and their hospitality towards us. I hated, it wasn't their fault, but like my experience in Georgia kind of sucked because we were confined to like a 2-block radius.
Oh, wow.
Like a bubble for COVID?
Yeah. And honestly, they didn't even want us leaving the hotel. Like we weren't supposed to, but dude, you can't stay in your hotel room for 5 days.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly,
that'd be
one who got COVID and sincerely stayed in their house. I have no idea how you did it. I read the whole book of Matthew from the New Testament, and I wasn't even in my apartment my hotel room the whole time.
Dang.
That's how bored I was, dude. Like I had nothing to do. And don't get me wrong, I love my scriptures, but a whole book. for someone who's illiterate, that's way too much, dude. Way too much. So, dude, I'm going
Carson.
stir crazy. So, honestly, like, but once we finally got out there in the arena, and that cage door shut, it was just like being home again. Like, that's my favorite part is as soon as I'm in that cage and that door shuts and we're both in there, it's like I can finally be me. Like, I can let all my emotions go. I can focus on what I really, truly think I've been put on this earth to do. And no one's going to sit there and tell me not to do it. They're going to scream for more. They're going to scream for either my head to get taken off or the other dudes. And that's exactly what I want. I want that motion. I want that energy. I thrive in it. I think it's awesome. I just, that's what I live for. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Now, do you still have any sort of, do you have any sort of contract with them still? Or since you pulled out of that last fight, did that end that?
Yeah, it ended it. And they actually, they wanted me to, as like a last moment fill in with Bobby Nash, but they wouldn't offer me the prize money or the belt. So I politely declined. I said, no, if I'm not going to fight the belt. And that's not like any disrespect to XFC or anything, but they, you know, they have their promotion and the way they see fit to run it. And I've also got my business on my end, and I've got to run my business. And so it was just a business decision.
So, So then I was going to ask, so assuming things go the way that you hope that they go next Saturday night against Steven, you get your hand raised. Where are you aiming your focus next?
The focus is always UFC gold, man. That's all I've got on my mind. It's my screensaver on my phone. It's what I tell myself every morning. Like, I really want to get there. And again, whether or not I end up like Derek Lewis, where it's like you almost get there, and that would really suck, but at least you tried, right? Like, at least
he fought for it twice.
He fought. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Well, and you could be like Bisping and fight for it like every other year. you know, had a ton of chances. And
he got it though.
And he got it. Yeah.
So that's my whole thing is, honestly, like, that's always my eyesight. As far as like the next move, I usually let my manager decide that, because they've got tons of fighters in the UFC. They've got tons in Bellator. So it's honestly, when they tell me or they show me an opportunity, then it's usually in my best interest, and I'll go with what they recommend because they have more experience that way. I'm just here to fight. I can't tell you how many fighters are like, dude, I want to fight you. Or they start talking shit person to person or whatever. And I'm like, dude, like, it's a business. Like, as much as I'm a gamer and I want to fight you, you're wasting damn time. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, I would love to fight Dunkel. I'd also love to fight a whole bunch of other people. And there's a whole bunch of other people that I'm sure want rematches with me. But at the end of the day, we're all trying to get to UFC. Like, I've got my own family to feed, dude. I ain't got time for your, scrawny butt on my record. I already beat it. Let's go. Like, move on. Get your record up to par, and then we'll come back and talk.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very smart. I say this a lot. More fighters need to view themselves as, it's fighting, and what we do in the cage is violent, but we're professional athletes as well. And so there's that business side of it outside of the cage that needs to be handled the correct way as well.
Politics suck, dude. But yeah, at the end of the day, Dana White's running the show, not Carson Hardman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you're Conor McGregor and you like supersede that, you pretty much don't run.
See, you say, but Conor earned that. That's the one thing that people forget.
For a long time.
You touched on it earlier. Conor was the guy that was always fill in. When Jose Aldo pulled out and they asked him if he wanted to push back the Aldo fight, he said, well, yeah, me and Jose will fight, but like, who am I fighting now? And so they're like, Chad Mendez. Okay. Like he never pulled out of fight, I mean, everybody talks about Nate Diaz beat him the first time, but nobody talks about that he was getting ready for a 155 title fight 11 days before Nate Diaz filled in, and he kept that whole card together. He could have pulled out and waited for RDA for the 155. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't get it. Yeah, there's a lot to hate on him for, and I get that. but he doesn't get the credit where he deserves to. And that's why Dana's always been so willing to do favors for him, because Connor's done the favors for them.
I would, yeah, without putting words in their mouth, that's got to be it. That's where I'd bet my money if you had to ask me what that was going through their heads.
Yep.
Yeah,
I like that mentality.
How's the gym going down there, Carson?
We're doing all right. We got some slow growth, which is what I like. I don't like a big booming growth. It's hard to keep up with that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're slowly growing, and it's been an interesting dynamic going from, I've always been an assistant to the coach, an assistant to Mark, my father figure, but I've never actually had the reins to roll it out on my own. And so that's been a little interesting to watch that unfold and see different aspects on how I do it versus him. And I love bringing him in on a few things, on a few of our fighters, and asking him for tips and stuff like that on what he would do and how he would handle that.
Yeah.
Certain situations, So it's been fun. It's been great. Awesome experience.
Hell yeah.
How do you think it's helped you as a fighter?
Honestly, hasn't. It's
no.
In all reality, like, I can't wait to hand the gym off to someone else. Like, I love what I do, and I love my students. I love my adults that come and train seriously, or even the casual ones. Like, I love the social aspect. But at the end of the day, if I had my choice, dude, I'd be in fight camp every day. Like, I really would. Like, I'm doing this just to skim by till I can fight full time. And then after that, like, I'm signing it off. Like, give me $100 a month, dude. Like,
yeah.
Because
it's got to be,
and the rest of the income can be yours.
It's got to be a tough balance to try to balance fighting full time and running a business in general. It doesn't even have to be a gym, just any business in general.
Honestly, I believe you have to be all in. Miyamoto Musashi talks about that in the Book of Five Rings. You have to devote your life.
This is the way.
Yep. He talks about how, like, there are, like, necessary evils and things that you have to do, and you have to come to terms and accept those. But at the end of the day, you really have to check yourself. Am I doing this for money, or am I doing this for my end goal? That's it, baby. Right there.
Love that book. Read too much.
Love to read.
So,
hey, do you listen to podcasts, Carson?
Yeah.
You a podcast guy?
Yeah.
So I listened to this history podcast. You know who Jim Jones is? The preacher guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. They made the people. There's a podcast. I'll send it to you. It's super long. It's about 40 hours long. It's amazing. There's like 8 different episodes, but it's.
Wait, so did this dude just stay up all night and talk, or did he take breaks?
Well, what's crazy is
just potty breaks.
Yeah. He breaks it. I mean, it's not just Jim. It's a whole array of society during the 60s and 70s and racism and the Black Panther movement and all this stuff. And then obviously religion. It's really, really interesting podcast if you're into that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why I got sidetracked on that, but
squirrel moment.
Yeah. So next Saturday night, how can people still get tickets to this fight?
Ask Cody.
There is a link. I know there's a link to get it. Do you have a link for you personally?
I honestly, no. I think you go out.
You do, Carson.
I do. Yeah.
You have a due for people to buy tickets through you.
Dude, when I literally focus on a fight, like, if that doesn't tell you, like, what I do, like, and everything, like, I need to get better at it. But honestly, it's everyone else runs it for me. Like, I don't do anything but worry about fighting at this point.
Well, that's a good way to do it.
So that's just me personally. Like, I've got anxiety, and so that's probably why I do it that way. Is I'm just stewing over my chores that I got in front of me. So.
There you go. Do you have any predictions for the way the fight's going to go?
No. I used to.
You never do.
I used to, but like I said, I always envision me finishing it. It has to be in a finish. I'm looking for either, a glorious death or a glorious victory. I don't want something that's blah.
I don't think any of your fights have been blah.
I would argue some of that. I want dynamite. That's I'm an entertainer. I'm a fighter. I'm a warrior. And so I better do my job. That's the way I see it. Like, I don't have any expectations other than excitement. I just want it to be exciting and fun.
I'm excited to call your fight. This will be my first opportunity to call one of your fights. It'll be good.
Sweet, man.
Looking forward to it.
Yell at me to get my damn hands up.
I will.
I will.
I don't know if you're going to
get your hands up.
I don't think he's going to listen, Zach, but
No, probably
you
won't.
could say it. Carson, do you have any sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Dr. Greg Pitts. He's the one who did my mouth guard. He's over in American Fork. You can look him up. That's Greg Pitts. Shout out to OUR. They're not a sponsor, but they are an awesome charity that I support. And I don't think it would be fair for me to say like I'm in direct link with them, but I do think it's for people to know that there is child sex trafficking going on. And, you know, whether you're a conspiracy believer or not, like, it's like, you know, cars get robbed, kids get stolen. That's as simple as that. And
I don't think that's very conspiracy anymore. I think it's pretty.
Yeah,
no.
I hope so. Yeah. Anyways, but I like to raise awareness for that, and I hope that people go on, they donate to that website. That's OUR, OperationUndergroundRailroad.com. And go on there and donate, whether it's $10, $20, or, you know, maybe you have a business and you want to donate something bigger than that. I think that's super important to support our kids and the upcoming generations and make sure they're safe.
Absolutely.
I want to thank Sobo Sushi. They're new here in Lehigh over at Traverse. They're freaking awesome. They've done huge things for my gym. So I just want to thank them so much for taking that leap of faith out on someone who's a new business owner. So that would be it, guys. Those are my list of sponsors.
We will come join you for sushi sometime.
Yes, we will.
Please, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Heck yeah. All right, Carson, man, we will see you next Saturday night. We appreciate you coming on, and we love having you on. So I'm sure we'll do it again soon.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
Thanks, Carson. See you,
Roger
brother.
that. We out.